Hello, my name is Alexander Graham Bell. I am best known as the inventor of the telephone, but I invented much more than that. My life started on March 3rd, 1847, in Edinburgh, Scotland. To be exact, my house was on South Charlotte Street. I also had an older and a younger brother. My older brother, Melville James Bell, was born in 1848 but died in 1870 of tuberculosis. The same fate befell my younger brother, Edward Charles Bell, who was born in 1848 and died in 1867. I was, unfortunately, born without a middle name. I pleaded for my father to let me adopt a middle name, and for my 11th birthday, I adopted the middle name Graham in respect to a patient who was being treated by my father. My father was a phonetician. As a child, I loved experimenting and finding things out, and often did small experiments with biological specimens I gathered. My friend Ben Herdman's family worked in a flour factory. I made a simple dehusking device made with paddles and nail brushes, which was used steadily in the mill for a few years. Throughout my teen years, my mother started to lose her hearing. I started to use tapping techniques to communicate with her, and also speaking clearly into her forehead, which she could be able to make out. I started my education at home, but later went to Royal High School, which I graduated from at the age of 15. I didn't get great grades, but hey, look how I turned out. After this, I moved in with my grandfather and developed a love of learning. When I was 16, I became a sort of pupil teacher at another school in Elgin, Scotland. I later moved to Canada and set up a workshop in my house. I also did a lot of work in Boston with deaf people. This is one of the things I'm perhaps most famous for. I later started tinkering and experimenting late into the nights. And this later led me to develop the machine now known as the telephone. I was lucky to get the patent because I had multiple competitors who wanted to get the patent with their similar machines. In my later life, I also had many notable inventions and works, including, but not limited to, the metal detector, a few plane models, and the hydrofoil. I died in my house in 1922 in Nova Scotia, Canada.